She's Katie Montgomery. He's Justin Joseph. These best friends are serving subpoenas to bad advice weekly with Wrong Way Forward. Now, here's Katy and Justin.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Wrong Way Forward, where we are celebrating gay pride.
Amazing, Justin. And I think that this is a great topic. And I think it is the right way forward to celebrate pride and to be an ally. But I think we want to talk about the wrong way forward. And I think there's quite a bit of that out there right now. So where should we start?
Well, let's start at, what was your first memory? I mean, I think when I was coming out, I don't know that I knew what gay pride was. I'm sure once I came out to you, I probably put that in your face.
Yes.
Did you know what that was before me?
So I don't know if you remember this, but when we were in college and I was student body president and you were student body vice president, we participated in the AIDS walk. Do you remember this?
Yeah, I do, because we raised money.
And we raised money and stuff. So I think that was my first kind of exposure of a collected group with a common objective kind of coming together.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of at that time, and I don't even know if this term applied in the mid-90s, but to the LGBTQ, I don't even think it was even Q or plus was at that point
back then.
Community. But the concept of kind of pride and the pride flag and kind of what those things represented, and then starting to see corporate sponsors coming behind that.
Yeah.
You know, I think kind of after the model of, I always think kind of Susan B. Komen, like wear pink, Estee Lauder makes a special lipstick, you know, and seeing that come around pride and actually seeing that not just become a national thing in major cities, but internationally, and seeing that kind of take off. So I remember kind of seeing the evolution of that. And again, I have not looked up the history, but it feels like when we were together and you were coming out, it wasn't kind of a common everyday thing. Like you didn't go into Target and see pride merchandise.
Well, I think what's interesting for me, having been, out for whatever, 20, 25 years, is to watch the sort of ebb and flow of it. It has gone through a period when we first started pride, that it was not as national as it was. Then it went through a period where everyone was on board.
Yes.
I feel like we're now back in a period where it's not necessarily something that everybody's on board with because it can be divisive.
Yeah. And I think you know this, that, my family has a place in Orange Beach, Alabama, and we've had some really great memories there. My father's mother, my grandmother grew up in Mobile, Alabama. Orange Beach is about an hour away. We spent a lot of time there. And the last time I saw an LGBTQ flag on a pontoon boat, it stood for liquor. LGBT, liquor, guns, booze, and titties.
Oh, okay.
And so that's kind of the evolution.
You know that's what I think.
Yes.
Look, I have my own conflicts with this as a gay person. And we've talked about this before on the show. When I came out, it was LGBT. And now it's LGBTQ, and now it's LGBTQ plus. It is a big conglomerate of alphabets, and I've really had to kind of wrap my head around it because I identify as a gay person, but beyond that, I don't.
Yes.
But they're still all part of my alphabet, if that makes sense.
Yes.
But having said that, it's a constant struggle. I mean, like I said, I've gone through periods when I was coming out where I was marching in the gay pride. My family threw a big fundraising event, and we had a float in the gay pride parade. Now I'm afraid to go down there and get shot.
Which is heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is. It's also age. We talk about this all the time. It's not to me. Are you crying over this?
I'm allergic to bigots.
But the reason for this episode is I think it's we both saw something in media recently, which as a gay person made me extremely uncomfortable.
Yes.
And going back to season 1, it was extremely tacky. And I would be mortified for my mother or for any of us who are trying to rally allies around our defense to have seen this, because it just does not serve the purpose of what it was intended to.
Yeah, and I wonder if I agree with that. So if you could kind of share the background. This is a company called HelloFresh. Some of you may know it. It is a food delivery company, right? You sign up to get 3 meals a week. It sends you a recipe and all the fixings, and you can kind of cook a gourmet meal at home for a minimum amount.
Yeah, and Josh and I literally were subscribers to this until probably a month ago, and they messed up an order so badly, and Justin, in anger, they would not give me a full credit for it, so I fired him.
Okay, well, and I think based on what you've reacted to, it was inevitable you would have fired them anyway.
So we're going to listen to a news account of what HelloFresh did to get involved in the pride. Their intentions were probably right, but their execution, in my opinion, was totally wrong. Here they are.
thanks to its crude undertones. Now, I'll bring up the ad here. I'll read it out to you. This is what it says. It says, official statement. We know eating isn't always a top priority this month. We respect that. But for those of you who are ... prepping,
In quotes. ...
we have an extensive lineup of high fiber recipes available. Happy Pride.
So we'll stop there. I think I'll be in a better position to explain what that means than these two news anchors. Basically, they're saying, A, we know no one eats during Pride, and I think that is a gross generalization. I mean, and if that's the case, it shouldn't be. But secondly, they're talking about prepping. Okay, now I'm uncomfortable. I'd
Yes.
rather take it up.
Would you like me to?
Help? Yes.
Yes. So I think
Speak for myself.
So I think the idea is that usually when you eat a high fiber food that produces a bowel movement or collectively what we call number two, and if you would like to prep
Meaning douche.
for homosexual sex, you would like to clear the colon. Is that correct? Because I'm very uncomfortable today.
I am more uncomfortable than you are, and
I thought you were going to say I did that well. I actually thought it was very articulate.
Don't women douche? Isn't that a woman thing?
No.
Yes,
And first of all, I never have. Number two, my sister works in a school of public health, and there's actually a public health campaign against douching.
Why do women? We're going to go off topic for this is an education.
I really want to die right now. It's so gross.
But why do women do that?
First of all, I don't know because I don't know anyone who does.
But it was a women's things before.
It was a big thing in like the 70s. Remember, it was like Summer's Eve, and then there was like massive guild douche. The thing about it is, I can tell you from my sister who works in a public health school, there's actually public health campaigns against douching because it is actively not healthy.
But are you douching on the front or the back?
The front, I think. I don't know. But you're clearly douching on the back.
Well, not me
personally. If you don't have a front. Oh my gosh, I'm never going to get a job ever again.
I'm uncomfortable. I'm sweating.
I know. I'm really hot, and it's not this Surfside malt beverage I'm drinking.
Okay. Yes.
So, but you found this highly offensive.
I found it highly uncomfortable.
But no, not
it's offensive too, because gay pride if it's not, it needs to be about so much more than homosexual gay sex.
Agreed. But here is I'm going to argue just a little bit against this. HelloFresh knew that they were doing something that
would appear on podcasts.
Yes, and that it's on the edge. It's kind of pushing the envelope. I cannot imagine that they did not ask a gay person. And to be completely honest, we have not done our due diligence. I wouldn't be surprised if a gay person didn't actually come up with this ad campaign. And it's getting a lot of conversation.
It's gross.
It's a little, below the belt. It's going into bathroom humor. Yeah. It is making assumptions. And I do think your best argument is that pride is not just about gay people. It is about celebrating differences and honoring those people. Diversity. And making sure they're comfortable within their space and have the allies. But I can tell you this, all of my friends, my gay male friends are the most hysterical, and also they will just break it down and throw it out there.
The gay sex part of it?
Not even gay sex, but, top, bottom, girlfriend, blah, 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 this, and that. So I could see how someone might say this campaign might resonate with that group.
But it may. I just think, is this our highest common denominator? I mean, like, this is of all the campaigns you can to support pride. I guess I'm deeply offended because it just takes everyone's mind to gay sex, and that is not what being gay is about.
Correct, and I could not agree with that more. But why don't we talk about what HelloFresh doubled down on this campaign?
They did.
So in addition to saying that, what else did they come up and say?
Well, let's let the news anchor take it from there.
And let's make sure to put the microphone there.
Explain it to our audience. If you get it, you can put two and two together about the sort of undertones of what you're prepping for, basically, when you're eating a lot of fibrous foods. Now, it comes with the caption underneath that says, use code BOTTOMS UP for a Pride Month discount. Okay, that was the second part of the code of bottoms up. Again, it is just taking us to the lowest common denominator of gay pride and gay sex. And and I think it's very,
it's not including, the bigger community because the joke is not even relevant to lesbians, correct?
Uh, yes. I think that's right.
Yes. And so again, if we're talking about what pride is, it's not just gay men, it's also lesbians and it's transgendered and it's queer. So it's actually only referring to a percentage of the larger community that is including in pride.
I think that's absolutely right. But, I just found it offensive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but here is the thing, right? And I guess the argument is this. If it's offensive, but it's getting more and more discussion around pride and people are becoming aware of it. And what I thought was really interesting is there's some of the comments because they put this on social media.
Yeah, and people lost their mind.
And well, not everybody lost their mind. Some people are like, I'm buying my first HelloFresh box. And
some people are like, consider this my cancellation.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't 100% offensive. Some people found it to be clever, tongue in cheek. But what is the biggest objective here? At the end of the day, the objective is HelloFresh wants to be part of the conversation. HelloFresh wants to pull out Blue Apron. HelloFresh wants to beat all the other. And HelloFresh is now front and center. People know HelloFresh is a food delivery service. Right. That's their objective. But the secondary objective could be like, are we talking about pride? And is it becoming, and is that a bad thing? Is that the wrong way forward?
I think that's the exact right way to set up the next block where I'll talk about when I was coming out. I don't think I was out, but I went to a therapist, and the smartest thing that she said that has stayed with me to this day, and how that applies here. We'll talk about that on the other side. We'll be right back.
You've been listening to Wrong Way Forward, where bad advice goes to die and then gets resurrected just so we can roast it again.
If you're enjoying the chaos, hit like and subscribe and come back every Thursday for new episodes.
Have a new topic or some disastrously bad advice you want to dissect? Email wrongwayforwardpodcast@gmail.com. Include your contact info.
Now back to Wrong Way Forward.
Roasting the worst advice ever. Welcome back to the Katy and Justin podcast.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to this week's episode of Wrong Way Forward, where we're covering gay pride. Firstly, happy pride to everyone who is out there celebrating. We want you to know we support you and are with you, whether we're with you in person or not. I have been out for, 25 years?
I know you said 25 years. It's way more than 25 years.
More than 25.
You came out to me when I was studying for the bar exam.
Okay.
And I took the bar exam when I was 25, and you're 52. So it's been closer to 27.
But before...
And that's coming out to me. You would come out to maybe some other people.
But I remember early on, I was starting having really significant stomach pains, and I didn't know what it was. And I started going to therapists, and I went to a million doctors. I could not figure out what it was. These pains would wake me up at night. I'd see hallucinations. And they thought it was psychosomatic. So I started going to therapists. And I came out to the therapist, and I'll never forget, she was this Black woman. And I said, why do we need drag queens marching in the parade? Why do we need this? And she said, Justin, because if everyone looked like you, there would be no movement. And that has stuck with me to this day.
Beautiful.
And so I do try and support the differences that are out there, because we can't all be Justin's marching in a parade. Everybody would be bored to tears. But having said that, I mean, to take it back to this, I still think there needs to be a reverence for what the movement is. And it is a movement about a community that needs support.
Yes. Well, I don't think it's just, I do think it's that. I also think it is a celebration of where the movement has come thus far. I mean,
and how it's gone backwards.
Well, and how it's gone backwards. But I mean, like, I remember thinking, and gay people have been around as long as the world has existed, right? But now you can legally get married in all 50 states. It's now legal in Australia. It's legal in other places. And so I think it's a celebration of people, allyship, being a maligned group, but also where it has come thus far. And it is under attack. And what I think is so interesting is I love those memes that are like, we ban books, and we go after drag queens, but how many people have ever, pulled a gun and in a school, right? Or, we look at the January 6th insurrectionists, and they're starting to find some of them have been caught as pedophiles. But
on that note, this is interesting because a lot of the big violent headline making attacks have been trans related.
Yes.
Again.
And it's always been horribly maligned and completely under attack.
I know, but I will say this, and our commitment when we got into this podcast is not to make it political, and we will always abide by that.
Yes.
Having said that, the current environment, and I'm not blaming Trump, I'm blaming the current environment. I've never been more afraid to be a gay person in my own home.
Yeah, which is horrible.
It is. And there was a period when I came out, I was never afraid. And then there was a period when I was proud of it.
Yeah.
Now I'm afraid.
So if you're talking to our viewers and our listeners, that's the wrong way forward, is to make people scared in their own home, right?
It's the wrong way forward because I'm not out there screaming and shouting for pride because I'm afraid.
Yeah. And let's say of most people if you were to kind of say within that community, you're probably more privileged and have more access to.
And I'm lucky because I look like a straight dude.
Yeah. So, well,
oh my God.
I just did that for a laugh. Okay. You know that. But Justin, what is the right way forward for people who are new to this and coming to this? There's still kids who struggle with coming out. How can people, what is the right forward to be an ally, to be support, to help people feel safe in their home, particularly in the current environment?
Well, firstly, it is not the HelloFresh route to bring it to the lowest common denominator of what gay is.
Okay.
I mean, if you really get down, that is the one thing that separates me as a gay person from someone as a straight person, is that I have a different kind of sex.
Yes.
And I hate that my mind goes there, but that's ultimately what, I love a man. And,
yes.
So I think we have to elevate the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're going to be supportive and celebrate gay pride, what are we really celebrating? We're celebrating the fact that there are people who are different than you are and that I am. And our job in this world is to love everyone.
I mean, 100%.
And wouldn't that be a better HelloFresh campaign? Like, do you love strawberries? Love everyone. I mean, I'm not coming up with something.
No, but, and I'm sure an ad man or somebody in marketing would be like, yes, it's lovely message. Does it pull the message forward? Right.
Fair.
So I think what would be interesting is if you actually did focus groups. I would hope that HelloFresh did a focus group on this, and I am hoping they did a focus group.
But their message is divisive. It's divisive.
100%.
I'm sickened by it.
Yes.
Obviously, the people who are against gay rights are sickened by it.
Yes, but I think my point is
they could have said love everyone. It would have been.
But how could they have done something clever?
Yeah, but
that was not love everyone, right? Like,
and they could have.
Exactly, and I think that's the takeaway. How do we do this? And here's the thing: that takes time. That's not being lazy. That is moving beyond kind of decisiveness.
What they did was lazy. Someone in a marketing room said, ha, 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 look at this. People laughed, and they went forward with it. It was fucking lazy.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, and I think both of us agree, the wrong way forward, it rarely is the right way forward being lazy. It is the wrong way forward to be lazy and nonchalant and to only think of oneself. And I think particularly in this, we're at, I think, a precipice, a tipping point, a crossroads, whatever you may say, where things are starting to flip and people are like, we're not going to stand for this anymore.
Meaning what?
Meaning the crudeness, the meanness, the attacking. I think that there is a saturation point in the world. And I think we're getting close to it. And it's going to be interesting to see how this falls out.
Because it's too exhausting to hate everyone or to be mad all the time. It's too tiring.
Yes.
And again, going back to HelloFresh, what they did not raise the conversation, did not subtract from it being tiring. Because again, I, as a gay person, looked at that and thought, what the fuck?
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yeah, seriously.
So,
yes.
I think wrong way forward. We agree. It's interesting because it's just as far as you can get, something always brings you back.
100%. Yep.
We'll talk about more on the other side. We'll be right back on Wrong Way Forward with Pride Month.
Thanks for streaming Wrong Way Forward, the weekly reminder that advice is usually free for a reason. We call out bad advice wherever it hides: boardrooms, break rooms, and even book clubs.
Enjoying this dumpster fire? Like, subscribe, and check back every Thursday for new episodes. Want us to roast your favorite piece of nonsense? Email us at wrongwayforwardpodcast@gmail.com. Be sure to include your contact info. We're not psychic, just judgmental. And now, back to Wrong Way Forward.
Roasting the worst advice ever. Welcome back to the Katy and Justin.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to season 3 of Wrong Way Forward. This week we are celebrating gay pride and honestly how much it has changed. I've been out for 20 plus years and I have been in parades. I've marched in the parades. I go to the parades. I haven't gone to the parades, but the point is the movement has changed.
Yes.
So I'll tell this story. This will show my age, but it's a funny story of just how much the world has changed. So Josh and I moved into our house. Gosh, we've been here for 3 years, and we have a pool. Which, for those of you who live in Denver, that's not everybody has pools. It's pretty rare to be in the city and have one. But we have a pool, and so we thought, well, we'll throw a pride party.
Yep.
But of course, I'm 50. I'm not rock hard like I used to be. So I'm like, I want to be comfortable in the pool with my rock hard body. Thank you. I want to be comfortable in the pool, so we're only going to invite friends.
Yes.
So we had a lovely party of 20, 25.
So you usually invite total strangers to a party.
Well, that's the funny thing. There are some very notable gays in our community who have pool parties where they go to the bars the days before and pick out the hot people and invite them over.
Oh, I mean, that's the wrong way forward in my book and hosting a party.
But
I don't want strangers in my house.
Anyway, but that's not Josh and my vision of our pool party.
Yes.
So we told we had 25 people of our close friends
Yes.
to come over and have a lovely pool party. So we did. And my friends who are listening to this will know the story, but everybody else will be shocked by it. So about 3/4 of the day through the party, one of our groups of friends, our younger friends, who we were very close with, said, we have friends in town. We know this is a closed party. Would you mind if he and his partner came over? Of course.
Yes.
So 10 minutes later, in comes Adonis and his younger, hot, 0% body fat boyfriend.
Okay.
So you might as well stop the music because everybody was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So they start swimming and everything. And about 3 minutes into it, I'm looking at his white Speedo and there's something in there. And I don't know what it is, but I'm like, if you can imagine a white Speedo over.
Well, I'm not a Speedo kind of girl, so I'm already grossed out.
Well,
let's get some trunks.
But Speedos now everybody's wearing them. I would not wear one, but the kid has Speedo and no body fat, but he had something. If you're not watching this on YouTube, if you just clasp your fingers together, like a 10 on 10 fingers together, how would you describe this?
I mean, I'm just thinking, see all the church opening up, see all the people, like that hand game. I don't know, like a blockade?
Like a blockade, but it was inside his 28-inch waist Speedo. So it was something was packed in there. So everyone was talking about it.
Yes.
Well, it's my party. So I
swam over.
Yeah. And I'm like, what's in your pants? And he had no shame in saying it's a dick cage.
Why was he wearing a dick cage?
Do you know what that is?
I mean, I'm assuming it's a cage for your dick. Hence the name.
Oh, I had never heard of one. And again, I have been in a long time. I have seen it all.
What sounds like, what do athletes wear?
Not this.
Okay.
So a dick cage is a metal contraption that the dominant man has a key to that the subordinate kid cannot have an erection in. This is we're losing viewers left to right. They cannot have an erection unless he unlocks it. This was so news to me.
Yes.
And I was terrified to ask. So I'm like, back.
I have to be like, extra chlorine.
So anyway, so that was the news to me, and so that's why we have a closed pride party that no longer our extras are allowed to. But I want to take this moment to wrap up by saying we celebrate all types.
Yes.
Dedication.
Well, and this is what I want to say that I think is really interesting. He had a pair of white Speedos. If anything,
he wanted to be seen.
But no, my point is, if anything can show anything, it's a pair of white Speedos.
He didn't care.
But here's the thing. There are heterosexual church deacons, people across the world who are doing this shit behind closed doors and casting stones and throwing fingers, right? So I think what's interesting is part of that is celebrate who you are and don't hide in the shadows.
That's exactly right.
And I think being a hypocrite probably carries more of a wrong way forward.
And honestly, who was the hypocrite in that pool? It was me. I was mortified.
Yes. That tracks.
But I think to wrap up this episode on Gay Pride, we both have cocktails.
Yes.
We are toasting to everyone who was ever different.
Yes.
Who ever felt different, not gay or not, but just everybody who felt different and is different. we celebrate.
Yes. And the rainbow, particularly in the Bible, represents mercy and grace.
Yeah.
And so at this Pride season, let's show grace to others who are not like us.
We love that. And
Love
love
you.
all of you. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
All right, that's a wrap on this week's episode of Wrong Way Forward. Remember, the only thing worse than taking bad advice is giving it.
If you've liked what you've heard, like, subscribe, or follow us wherever you stream podcasts. And if you've got a topic or need some advice we'll probably regret giving, email us at wrongwayforwardpodcast@gmail.com.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Wrong Way Forward.